That's right, all you 4X junkies, let's go. I joined game 3054319. Let's get in and go. Conflict of Nations. All right, so I'm going to give you a sneak peek. It's probably going to cost me the game because somebody's going to see this little live content and come after me, but I wanted to show you kind of a couple of things that I do early in a country and how I get started. First of all, I'm going to look and see who's got a coalition. The only one so far is not near me in Argentina, so I'm going to kind of give it a break for a little bit and see who joins, right? Then I'm going to go into my city screens. I'm going to immediately build army bases in every single city because you have to double your production of military units, right? And the one unit that you're going to get is that military unit right here, the basic infantry right out of the gates, right? So it is going to be something you have to research on day one, but look, you're going to get day two because, well, you know, that's just kind of the way things roll. And so you are on the Eastern doctrine research. So if you look here and you see Eastern, they're going to heavily favor mechanized infantry here. It's going to push you up earlier to start. You're going to have a delay in special forces, delay in combat vehicles, but you're going to do really well in tank destroyers. So if you want to move in that direction, you can. And then you can look and say, down here, strike fighters, you have an advantage for a strike fighter. You have an advantage for heavy bombers. So Eastern's going to be a great one for some ground units with some air support. And if you come back into the game, you're going to see that when you come up here and look for the strike fighter that is already, you can already go ahead and grab this from the get-go, right? So even though it's saying current day 2, right? So because you can do the strike fighter, you know, you're going to give up a little bit if people go air superiority. But what you're trying to do is rush to the Nighthawk anyway, right? Or the 250 on here, the T50, sorry, which is your stealth. You know, it's a stealth unit. So very, very effective. Even just though it has one level, it's going to 11, 11, 7, and 8.5. Nothing can really stand up to it. But you're going to have to be quick to get to that unit. So while that's going on, you're going to want to take these and come down and grab the cities that are just easy for you to reach. And then Juba is up top. And then you have a bunch of really strong nations. Because you're going to be able to move fast, though, and react, the way Congo is set up is not really conducive. People can really hit any kind of angle. You don't want to leave your capital open, so I'm going to run these over here to the capital real quick. So, like, you could smash Angola's capital, like, super quick, and they only have 5 cities, whereas you're going to have your I think 5 or 6. Yeah, you also only have 5 as Congo. So, but no big deal. You're going to be able to grow quick. Once these get out, you're going to immediately build troop. Oh, well, you're going to build a number 2 army base because, well, let's go and research. So I'm actually going to research these mechanized because they are stronger. If you look on the readout here, give me a second. On the military doctrine for Eastern, you're going to be able to get mechanized quicker, but you're not going to have the boost on there. So, I mean, I'm not really, you know, it's not really going to benefit you too heavy. And if you look, you're going to go tank destroyers, so you can start in that direction to beat up any armored stuff. But I don't think many people are going to have tanks. So what we're going to do is probably just research. Let me see here. Yeah, so that's not going to have a big enough effect. A 3 and a 3.8 versus if you come up here, you're going to have a 3 and a 3.8 on basic infantry. And then at the end, you're going to be better off, I believe, up here with a 6.5 and an 8.1. Let's see where these guys max out at 6 and a 7.5. So you're not going to get a mechanized advantage there. If you go naval, you are going to have the advantage on the offense, a little bit less on the defense. So we're just going to go with the regular motorized infantry, and that'll research really quick. While those are researching, you are going to want to get your arms industries out, right? So you're going to want to start producing more supplies right away so that you can back to back with more military units to defend, especially in that 4X setup, right? You can tell we're low on fuel already. So what you're going to do is go to the market and snap up some fuel for the cheap price, right? You're going to get 3 there. and we're down to 28, so we're going to take another 200 there. You are going to produce really fast in this scenario because of the 4x, so you don't have to buy as much. And then we're going to snap up these 640 of the rare materials because they're going to get super expensive. They're already 14.2, right? So now you can go to the next level really, really quickly on here. And then, of course, this is done. So we're going to pop right over and then churn out. Where is it at? Yeah, research is completed. So these should allow you to. Why is it not allowing you to build? Let's mobilize. What's it calling for? Oh, it's 4x. It's going to require a little bit more. Currently mobilizing another unit. You know what? Let's just do a refresh on this. It's just kind of bugging out a second, but that should allow you to produce infantry. Just give it 1 second. There we go. All right, so we're back in, and let's see now, does it, yep, so it'll allow you to produce your infantry. I thought it was bugging out. I'm like, it shouldn't require you to do the next level. This is going to double your military right off the bat and start your resource production. And then what you'll need to do is consider who are your neighbors now. Because while this is going on in the background, don't forget, so look, already gotten some new messages. Would you like to join my coalition as Ethiopia? So they're going to be up here. Let's take a look. You don't want to be too hasty because look at all these ones, right? So there's an Asia, a Europe, Pan-African Alliance. And the Western, who is this guy? Is Serbia, Asia, and India. That's a strong one going on. So what you're trying to do is see who is out early, but Pan-African, I don't know, man. That's kind of a weird one. We'll jump in here, and then hopefully we can persuade some other folks to join in as well. Now, because you're already got a head start, now we have to determine like what we're going to go. Because it's Eastern, and if you look in the military doctrine, you are going to have a leg up as far as strike fighters. And yep, see the strike fighter here and heavy bombers. So if we can go stealth and then stealth bombers eventually, then it will really support your ground troops. And then a lot of people won't go AA. So we'll be able to pop into this game, look at strike fighter here, and then start research on it automatically, right? Now, here's the tough part I always get into. Do I go UAVs or do I go air superiority and take the skies? I would need 1800, which I don't have. I'd have to like go one direction, but and I always debate on that, like which way I should go, right? Because now if I look at on the research tree, if somebody else is going fighters, then I'm going to have to get to heavy bombers like really quick, right? So I'm going to have to come up here and look at the damage these guys can put out on units and buildings, right? These heavy bombers. Or I can go into the stealth bomber here. It only has one level, but it can move on the map and is very, very lethal to ground units. That's basically one ground unit dead every time you make a run at it. And they're not going to have to be able to defend back, right? So once you can get at that level and start producing these, would be day 16 or basically 4 days, which would be Thursday for me. So I think what I'm going to do is hang back. I've got my military troops going. I'm going to send over. I can take Cabinda really quick. I don't want to get too fancy until we've seen the coalition. So we made the application. Let's see if we know any of the players in the game, and then I'll go and do the next couple of steps that I have, right? So what you can do is scroll up and then sort by player, right? And now all the live players are in here, and the game is filling extremely quick, which we thought it would, right? So Richard Muth, don't know. KSVA is one of the top players in the game. Let's see, ranking KSVA. So we already got the top player in the game. In our game, GG, and he got Russia, which is probably great for him. J. Depp, Carter, Lance Butler, don't know. Muhammad, Grumpy Dale, Damien. I don't really see anybody else in here that I know yet. And then we're down into computer players, so not bad. We'll check the coalition list again. Turkey, Poland, Romania. Serbia, I get that mixed up with Russia sometimes. Yeah, so it's looking pretty benign so far. China, India. There's 2 in the Western Alliance. Canada, that makes sense. It looks like we've joined up. We have, so we're good to go there. Welcome. Thanks for the coalition. I always try to make nice. So what I'm going to do here is look and see who is also, that's a computer player, that's going to be computer, and then computer, right? So far we don't have any neighbors outside of, and Chad's computer, outside of Ethiopia. So if we connect Juba here, which he's going to go for, which makes sense, and he's going to go Madagascar, which also makes sense. Then if we need to fight Kenya, we can fight Kenya from both sides. However, I just never rule anybody out. You just never know what people are going to do early game. So if there were players on these countries, what I would immediately start doing is make peace with them and say, hey, why don't you join our coalition? Why don't you get in? And if you can connect, like, let's say Kenya was to join in, and then somebody like Cameroon, right? Then you would have this whole bottom section roped off. They would have to either do a coalition together, or we would be after them. But let's say that Mozambique and Zambia join, but Kenya doesn't. Then that would be an easy one. All 4 of us would go after Kenya. You really have to be smart in the beginning. You don't want to overextend, and you want to fight 3 and 4 on 1, or you're going to run out of troops, and someone's going to come backdoor you. So I want to keep my troops pushed towards the outside, but it's dangerous to let Kananga, and I want to get out of Lubumbashi. I don't need to move because the only other thing I can take is Juba, and Ethiopia is moving that way now. So 1, start your barracks. 2, start your units off. 3, get your arms industries going. 4, get a coalition and make peace with your neighbors. And that's probably the top 4 things you want to do when you get started. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and join the game, and let's join up. See ya.